Hello, friends. Thank you for your interest in my posts. I want to apologize to the community at large for posting them to threads whose relationship to their content is, at best, tangential. I simply had nowhere else to post my information where anybody would read it. Previously, I was operating a website wherein my information was laid out in a rather straightforward manner. I was quite convinced that the undeniable truth of this information would attract attention on its own accord. I was quite sure that somehow this grand truth would shine out as a beacon and resonate with receptive people and quickly become widespread. As I recall, my best month brought about 400 visitors and a total of 4 non-spam comments. 75% of these recommended psychiatric intervention. So here we find ourselves. I am attempting to use the techniques of fiction and suspense to hopefully generate interest in this information. Your subreddit furthers the same, and I sincerely thank you for creating it. I should clarify this information is not fiction, nor is it true. It is a mix of things which happened and things which almost happened, things which were and things which could have been. You must understand that the present moment in which we exist is simply a nexus from which trillions of possible pasts and possible futures branch out. The important thing to realize is that these unreal pasts and unrealized futures are related to each other. By examining what might have been, we can come to understand what might come to be. I am writing about what has never been and what must never be. Unfortunately, our generation has been given a special burden. We are doomed, as the apocryphal Chinese curse has it, to live in interesting times. Soon, technological advances in the fields of information technology and bioengineering will fundamentally reshape human existence. There are a number of possible outcomes, and I believe that most of them will result in the human race entering an unending era of absolute slavery. As a free species, we have seen totalitarianism before, and we have destroyed it. But when it arises again, aided by advanced information and biological technology, it will have a new and unprecedented ability to envelop the entire Earth and place humanity in an unalterable state of total mental and physical slavery that will last for uncounted millennia until the Earth becomes uninhabitable. Not only do I believe that this outcome is possible, I believe that it is overwhelmingly likely. Out of all the trillions of possible futures arrayed before us, 99.99999% of them result in this outcome. As Christ said, "Wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But narrow is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." We must find and enter the narrow gate, but it will not be easy. In order to find it, we must sort through the many possible paths to find the possible futures which result in humanity free to live and die as humans, and not as unholy agglomeration of mindless flesh. Unfortunately, as we fight against the forces of slavery and death, it will be precisely our instincts towards the preservation of freedom and life that lead us to destruction. In short, we live in precarious times. I want to make clear that while this post shows clear and appalling signs of megalomania, I am actually aware that I am not a prophet or an expert. I am a 30-something American male without the benefit of a college education or a stable job. Sadly, I have spent most of my life drunk. My posts will contain a number of historical errors, both intentional and unintentional, as well as bad spelling, bad grammar, and laughably overwrought prose. Readers with a proper education will easily see through my attempts at erudition. In short, I have no formal, proper qualifications for the task I have set out for myself. But I have personally experienced the intellectual mutations of which I write. Through repeated self-experimentation, I have fractured the time state of my brain and now it exists in an ever-shifting state between various pasts which didn't happen. As such, I have been given what I believe is a special insight into our possible futures. They are dark. The shadows of past atrocities pass and overlap with the shadows of future atrocities. Time is short. Recently I have been beset with a persistent creativity that seems to grow stronger as the days go by. I fear this state is unsustainable. Perhaps eventually this productive mania will turn into an unproductive psychosis. And soon, on a larger scale, mankind's productivity will turn into its own sort of psychosis. Billions of years ago, the so-called primordial soup arranged itself into a self-replicating form, which multiplied and flourished and divaricated into countless species. From our vantage point in the present, this singular moment of origin has become lost in the mists of time. Equally obscure to us is the future singularity towards which we are heading, the end point, in which all the countless species are once again reintegrated into a new and singular form, a new abomination. We are on the verge, all of us. Times are dire. We are about to be gathered again into the arms of the Mother, to become one flesh with her, the Mother who gathers lost children, the Mother I have seen in dark spaces since I was a little child, back when I called her the Mother with horse eyes. We are about to meet her again. We are about to be unborn.